Welcome back to the Pro section. Today we're talking about the one thing that can turn a high-end bathroom renovation into a nightmare, and that is a floor heating failure. And we've seen it all. The tile looks perfect, the grout lines are laser straight, but the floor is cold. Or worse, the GC calls you 2 weeks later because you have a GFCI on the thermostat that won't go away. Now, most of these failures aren't bad cable, they're bad prep. Today, I'm giving you the 5-step pre-install checklist. Now, these are the non-negotiable fundamentals to ensure you never have a callback, you never have to pull up a tile, and you protect your reputation. So let's dive in. Step 1, identify your no heat zones. This is where most pros get caught. You cannot, and I mean never, run heating cable under permanent fixtures. The first one is the toilet. This is a big one. Stay at least 4 inches away from the wax ring. If you get the heat too close, it'll melt the wax ring and you will regret it. Vanities and cabinets. If it's a solid base cabinet, if it's a box bottom base cabinet, keep the heat out. Heat trapped under a cabinet can cause the cable to fail and overheat, and you don't want that. Next, mind the cooling gap. Don't crowd your walls unless you have to. Keep the cables about 3 inches away whenever you can from all baseboards and walls, and stay away from floor vents. Here's a pro tip. Ask the plumber exactly where the freestanding tub is going to be bolted down if you have one. Because if they drill through the cable to secure that tub, the warranty is gone and so is your profit. Step 2 is your insurance policy. Before you even break the seal on the floor heating mat or the cable spool, you have to take your readings. Don't trust the box, trust your meter. You need 2 specific tests to do, and you need to have a digital ohm meter or a digital multimeter to do this test. There's no substitute for a digital multimeter. You're going to do core resistance, which you're going to be setting your multimeter to the ohm section, usually at the 200 range, and measure between the 2 power leads. That's either yellow and black or red and black. Measure between those leads and check this against the factory label. It should be within plus or minus 10%. The next thing you want to do is the insulation test, and that is when you measure between each power lead and the ground braid. So yellow to ground, black to ground, or red to ground, whatever the voltage is of your system. So measure each one of those. You should see OL for overload or over limit, or infinite for resistance. If you get a numerical reading here, the cable is compromised. So just do the math. If you lost the label, remember the formula. R equals PV squared, which is the voltage squared divided by the wattage. Now, if the math doesn't match the meter, don't install it and call us. Step 3, prep. Heating cable is incredibly durable once it's buried, but it's fragile during the install. One stray staple or a sharp chunk of old thinset can nick that jacket when you're troweling. Do the hand test. Run your hand across the subfloor, and if you feel even a tiny bit of grit, vacuum it again. Do the flatness check also. Most floor heat doesn't fix to a wavy floor, so make sure you're within 1/8 of an inch over 10 feet. And primer is king. If you're using self-leveling underlayment, use the manufacturer's specific primer. Step 4, the floor sensor and thermostat. Thermostat is the brain of the whole system, but you need to make sure the placement of the thermostat sensor is centered correctly, perfectly between 2 heating runs. If it's too close to a wire, the thermostat will think the floor is hot and shut off while the rest of the room is still cold. We call that short cycling. Here's the fail-safe solution, a second backup sensor. It costs very little, takes about 2 minutes to do, and what you do is you run both leads up to the thermostat box, but only connect one of them. Leave the other one balled up in the back of the thermostat box. Also, never run the floor sensor in the same conduit as the non-heating leads. That way, if you have 2 sensors installed, and if you have trouble with it 5 or 10 years down the road, you disconnect the one thermostat sensor and attach the second one. That way you don't have to rip up any expensive tile. Step 5, documentation. In this business, if you didn't take a photo, it didn't happen. Before you cover that cable with self-leveling or thinset, take 3 specific photos. The full layout, showing your spacing and your no heating zones and the fact that you're not overlapping cables. Then take a picture of the sensor location to prove it's centered between the wires, and a picture of the final reading. Take a photo of your multimeter showing the ohms readings right next to the cable's serial number. Also write that number down in the installation manual. Why? Because if the drywaller or the plumber nicks a wire after you leave, those photos are your proof that the system was 100% functional when you finished your phase. So keep it professional. Audit your zones, test your ohms, prep the floor, double your sensors, and document the win. That's how you eliminate callbacks and keep your clients happy.